Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling.
Welcome to 0 to 60. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Happy Monday. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. We got a lot to talk about here today. Make sure that you like and subscribe and all that shit. And follow us all over social media, and including on YouTube. Those numbers keep growing. We got a lot to talk about, so let's pay some bills and get rolling.
Got a lot to talk about today for sure. This show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for online betting. Head over to BetOnline to bet on the NFL playoffs, college football playoffs. You got the Natty, Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Ohio State is 10-point favorite, so head on over to BetOnline today, the world's number one online betting platform. Matt, this show, we're gonna pay tribute to the late Coach Bill McCartney. Going to let you kind of just take it away. Unfortunate passing. Obviously won the national championship of Colorado in 1990. Over 90 wins as a head coach. 13 seasons at Colorado. Matt, go ahead.
First of all, just take this opportunity to say thank you to a great. Coach Mack. I didn't play for Coach Mack, but I watched him. This is the reason I wanted to play at CU, what he built. And he was there all the time when I was there. Literally every day in the facility all the time. So he wasn't the coach, but he was definitely involved. He went on all of our road trips. He was always in the locker room. Coach Barnett obviously cut his teeth underneath him. So, it was easy for that transition. His speeches were legendary. I always remember him giving the speeches, about Eric Bieniemy, and they're playing Texas, and the game's back and forth, and the littlest guy on the field is out there rallying the defense, and it just the way that he would tell stories, and you didn't know if it was real or not, but damn it, he made it seem like it was. So I guess that's the good thing about being a storyteller. But look, he built the program to what it is, to the prowess that it had in the past. People forget quickly how dominant the program was under Coach McCartney. That picture right there is Dave McClellan is the agent that I got my hand around, who's standing next to my son Nick. And Dave played safety and returner and God knows what else from Colorado. Great player and a great NFL guy. And Coach Mack there's in the middle. And then Jordan Dizon is the one at the very end of the other side, who is an unbelievable linebacker at CU back in the day, got drafted by the Lions. He's standing next to Coach Cabral, who's the best linebacker coach in the history of the University of Colorado, who's in the middle next to Matt Russell, who won the Buckus in '96. So there's some CU royalty in that picture there, for damn sure. And that's one of the last times I really saw Coach Mack and got a chance to talk to him, was a couple of years ago before Coach Prime came in. Coach Mack has been involved with the resurrection of that place. Better dead than red. That was him. It's a hard day for CU. The ceremony is next week, so that'll be tough. But it'll be good to see the boys. That's the shittiest part about all of these funerals is, you're saying goodbye to somebody, but you're also getting to see everyone at the same time, because it is something that brings everyone together. But this is more, the shock of it kind of sucked the other day. Joel's video was very profound in my opinion. And he's a leader, and I would expect nothing more from him, or nothing less. It's tough, but it's an 84-year life lived, and a guy who, every Colorado fan, if you're a fan of Coach Prime, you should be saying thank you to Coach Mack. If you're a fan of the Golden Buffaloes and the uniform and Folsom and Browfie and everything else that is a staple of that program, you should tip your cap to Coach Mack. So, I called his son, who's the head coach at Fairview, and talked to him for a while, and talked to Coach Barnett and talked to a bunch of my other teammates. But it was a fucking tough one, man, for damn sure. So, we'll see what happens next week at the funeral, but this is a hard day for CU for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And absolutely. Like you said, Buff fans and the Prime fans, those who have come to the Colorado fan base recently, definitely do your homework and thank Coach Mack. Shout out to Coach Mack. Matt, let's move forward. We got a lot to talk about today in the show on this Fight Monday. We're going to start with some Colorado news, and then we're going to talk NFL towards the end. Let's get right into it and waste no further time. Colorado has a new lineman, an offensive tackle transfer, Mana Taimani. He's signed with Colorado as an Ole Miss transfer. Big-ass offensive lineman. I'm really excited to see what he can do for CU. Matt, what are your thoughts on a new Colorado offensive line signing?
Look, I'm really, really excited about what they're doing on the offensive line, bringing in more players. Mm-hmm. Now you've got to take everything with a grain of salt.
Absolutely. Last
year they brought in a bunch of guys, and only 2 or 3 of them really panned. Mm-hmm. And there were some struggles still, but you'd like to think that, look, bringing in talent is awesome. Okay, there's talent there already. There's talent in high school. There's talent at the gym this morning at 5 a.m. There's talent at the gym this afternoon at 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. There's talent that they're going to bring in. Coach Prime and the way he does things is going to attract talent. Mm-hmm. If you don't see that by now, you're blind or you have an agenda. Now, the key to this, everyone, is developing this talent in a short period, in a short window, and hiring someone. And I'm sure that the next offensive line coach is probably in the room is probably Hangman, who's already there. I don't know that for sure, but we'll see. I'm going to be meeting with them this week upcoming, so we'll see what happens with that. It's about development. It's about being able to take a really small period of time, a year window. And really, if you look at it, it's just a couple of months. It's the off season of development. And then what you do over the summer is more like, let's stay healthy. Let's not fuck this up before training camp, right? So my opinion, if they can find somebody that can really turn the screws on these kids and get them moving in the right direction and develop the shit out of them, bro, we're rolling. Like there's no stopping the football team. But again, we talked about this last week. I think that the ability for them to understand that they've got a new quarterback, and I'm not talking about just a dude, I'm talking about a totally different player.
Yeah.
Salter is I'm not saying he's run first, but he's won double.
He's really athletic.
He's super athletic, and he can run better than Shador, and he can take more hits than Shador, and it's just different. Shador would get hit and would lace you up, and he would get pissed about it. I'm not saying this kid can't lace the ball. I'm saying he can really, really run. He's faster and more athletic than Shador is. Mm-hmm. So you've got to be able to now run 11 on 11, quarterback power, quarterback counter, quarterback draw, quarterback lead, mm-hmm. RPO, the zone read, fucking slip screens, everything that you see dynamic RPO quarterbacks doing is what needs to be done now in Boulder in the run game. So
absolutely.
It relies now on the developmental aspect of the coach you bring in and how he can motivate the guys and then move forward and really, put these young players in position to be successful. Thinking that you're just getting some some big dude from Old Miss is going to come in and kick ass. Like, that's not the way offensive line play works. You can give me 5 great offensive linemen, and if you don't have good scheme and you don't take advantage of what they do well, you suck. You suck. Absolutely. So I'm eager to hear, they got the new strength coach, which is a great hire from what I can read. I don't know him personally, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I think that they've got, people that want to play there, people that want to coach there, people that want to be involved, but it's just their job to go cipher through, what they want and how they want to do it, how they want to develop, how they want to make sure that the next crop of players after this crop, let's be real, the next crop after this crop is even better. That's the beauty of recruiting is Shedeur allows you to go get Salter and recruit Juju. Okay. Landing a guy like Jordan Seaton and bringing him in. Okay. Allows you to go recruit the transfer portal the way they are and recruit Smith, another big-time offensive lineman, and the big guard that they brought in who's a 4-star. Mm-hmm. It allows you to go get those guys because they see it happening with Seaton. Now, the key is now that you've got NFL talent, you better have NFL development.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And look, NFL development doesn't happen at the NFL facility. Let's be real. NFL development happens when the player stops trying to protect their image and starts focusing on their ability to get better. Like, it's okay for people to see you struggling and not doing everything perfectly. If you post something on social media, it's your job to improve. It's not your job to look good. It's your job to look at the warts and go, God, I really need to improve. I could be the first pick in the draft. I could be an unbelievable talent. Mm-hmm. Relying on how good you are is the fastest way not to be good anymore. So
facts.
The developmental part of this is the next piece. And they've got a lot of good-looking players come in, but again, Alabama steps off the bus, and you're like, holy shit, they look great. And then they go out and they play rather average. So,
right. Yeah.
And of course, that's just this year. They're a broad example, but still, looking the part and doing it are 2 very, very different things.
2 very different things indeed. And Matt, one thing you mentioned is development. Whoever the offensive line coach is going to be, that's the key is development. We saw last season Colorado bring in multiple offensive linemen from several different big-time schools, not Colorado, obviously, coming in through the portal. And throughout the season, I really feel like they struggled to become a unit. The offensive line is a unit. I mean, I played offensive line. Matt played offensive line. The offensive line is a unit. If you just have 5 guys that are not on the same page, it's not going to gel at all. And I think at times during last season for Colorado, you saw that. Now this season, the new offensive line coach, hopefully, will see some development and develop them into a unit because now we're seeing some big-time additions in the portal. Whether they can develop them into a unit, we'll see. But
a lot of it too, Bailey, is are you going to put the new quarterback in the new system in the same exact system that they did Shedeur in? That's just not going to work. I'm going to be the first one to say it right now. And if this question's asked to me, I'm going to be extremely blunt when answering it. That shit won't work. Salter, based on the film I've seen on him, is not Shedeur Sanders. And you know who is Shedeur Sanders? Nobody.
Facts.
He's one of one. So to assume that you could go get fucking Carson today back in the transfer portal like that you did, and assume that he's going to step in and just be Shedeur Sanders, he couldn't do that system either.
Right.
I mean, I don't think there were a whole lot of guys last year that could operate Shedeur's system. Quinn Ewers, maybe. Will Howard, maybe. I don't know. Will Howard's playing with house money. That team is fucking loaded. We're going to talk about all that, obviously. But, there's a lot of really good football players out there, but can they step in and be as prolific as Shedeur was throwing the football? Cam Ward, there's 4 or 5 guys probably, but Salter's not one of them. He's a totally different kind of player. So I want them to really – think about this. I think the defense will be even better next year. Okay. I love our schedule. I think that when I say I love our schedule, I think there's a lot of wins. Okay, I just do, and I think they're going to start 3-0. Georgia Tech's not going to come to Boulder and win. Delaware and Wyoming, give me a fucking break. So you get to start 3-0 going into conference play again, and then you get some good teams in the conference at home. You get everybody at home again. So I think that they have a very unique opportunity to go and change the way they do things. Look, think about how hard it was for us to deal with Kansas State, Kansas, North Dakota State, teams like that lined up and did what I'm proposing we do. It's not hard to figure out, bro. Go like Georgia Tech's a perfect example of this. Georgia Tech and the way they run offense. You want like that's the offense that we're going to run at Mount Vista next year, bro. Like with Marquise, our big sophomore to be junior quarterback, who is a great talent, but he's not McChesney. He can't lace the ball like Austin McChesney could, but he can sure fucking play. So like now you're going to have to deal with 11-on-11 football with a big quarterback that's running the ball down your throat. So and then the ability to change up too. If you've got Salter and he's playing well and you want to rotate Juju in and have him lace it, like then you've got a real problem if you can get super creative. So that's really the next part of this is how creative are we going to be here? Ali's sitting here saying we're going to start 4-0 next year. Well, we don't know the schedule yet, dog. They haven't released who we're playing fourth. We just know the first 3 conference opponents are all 3. The non-conference opponents are 3 home games: Georgia Tech, Delaware, and Wyoming. So they don't leave the state. They don't play a rival. Georgia Tech has to fly from Atlanta to Boulder. You would like to think that you win that game, although they are tough as fuck, and they are going to be downhill, and they're going to play smash mouth football. Exactly, and that's a game for the 1990 national championship because that's who Tom Osborne's punk ass voted for. The only guy that didn't vote for CU is Tom Osborne that year after we beat their ass in Lincoln. So it'll be a fun first game, and then Delaware and Wyoming are mop-ups. You should go out there and take care of your business and look good and put up points. And then after that, we'll see what the conference schedule entails. I know that we're playing both the Arizona schools. We got BYU. We got Iowa State. I think they still play K-State. I don't think Kansas is on the schedule. I know they play Utah again. So we'll see what happens with all that. But there's a lot. I think there's a lot of positivity in Boulder right now, moving towards who they're going to have in certain positions, of course. But I like the players. Now it's on the coaches to get creative and put a framework out there that's going to maximize everybody, bro.
Amen to that.
Yeah, we got to go to West Virginia. West Virginia, that's a tough game.
That's going to be tough.
Always tough.
Yeah, no, they brought back Rich Rod. That's going to be tough for sure. But you mentioned coaches. Let's move forward and discuss our next topic. Colorado brings in a new head strength and conditioning coach, Andrew Swayze. He was the head strength and conditioning coach in Miami for 15 years. He notably coached Alvin Kamara, among others. And when he really set the tone in Colorado's first day back in the meeting, and he had this to say to the team. Take a listen.
All right, fellas. Right now, we don't have the full staff, and we still have some more coming. But for right now, this is what we'll start off with. And I hope you've been paying attention to what's going on. And trust me, I love the platform. I love this opportunity to help change lives and to help get y'all to y'all goals. You didn't sign up here with Coach Prime to be average. So I just hope you got that in your mind, because I'm telling you, day one, you walk in there, I'm just telling you, you better buckle up. Listen to what I'm telling you. Buckle up. Watch the film. How'd you like the bowl game? What teams are playing right now?
Great.
Is it you?
Thank you.
If you ain't angry, something wrong. I got a problem with you.
Matt, what are your thoughts on this hire? Go ahead.
Look, he's obviously got a track record and has done a really good job in the past. I don't know him personally. There's no doubt that he knows what he's doing. Coach Prime's not going to hire somebody that's a novice. So at that position, this isn't like a fucking GA. This is your head strength coach. This is one of the most important hires you're going to have. These guys are around your team more than anybody, and they shape the mindset of your team. You know what I'm saying? when I was there, we had Doc Kreese, God rest his soul, and he was, you want to talk about shaping the minds of young men. That guy's a fucking psychopath. So, Doc used to do some crazy shit. You've heard all the John Bonet stories and everything, right? Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So you want your strength coach to be a little bit nuts, but you also need him to be a little bit personable, and like, it can't just be "fuck you, you all suck, let's go." Like, if I saw him today, like, point out some kid, tell him to stand up in the meeting, and isolated him. All right, well, you do that shit to me, and I'm a returning senior, and I put in work, we're gonna have a problem. That's just me. That's just me. You don't get to call him. You just got here, dog. I understand BYU's game was rough. I get it. But they did turn it around last year. It's not a team full of scrubs. It's not the 1-11, Louis bag team that Coach Prime came in with. So just, I understand he's an aggressive dude and he's got his shit together, and I dig it. I want our strength coach to be a little bit on the edge of sanity. Thank God. But at the same time, I think they've got some good-ass players in the room, and they all have to work together to get their goals done. So let's make sure that we're not calling a bunch of fucking rabid dogs puppies. You know what I'm saying? I think they got some dudes in that room that will hold everyone accountable. And look, I like that he's pushing everyone to find out who the leader is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want that. That's a great thing, because they are losing a ton of leadership on this football team. We're just assuming they're going to be able to replace it. So one thing that they do need to make sure that they nip in the butt, if it's there, is this mentality that you're just going to come to see you and win because Shador and Travis did, and Coach Prime's the coach. Like, well, we can just come here and win because Coach Prime's the head coach and fucking this, that, or the other. Like, that doesn't work like that. Each year's a new year, especially in the transfer portal era. So they got to nip that shit in the butt for sure. But, be careful about the whole walking in and acting like everybody in the room is soft. And look, I experienced this with a strength coach in college. Doc Kreese was there for 3 years. Everyone loved Doc. Coach Barnett fired him. It was a huge problem. Like, there was a problem on the team. Guys were not fucking happy. Him and EB and Embry all got let go. They all went to UCLA. They came back the next year. UCLA played us in Folsom. It was a super emotional game. We won 16-14. After the game, it was hugs and kisses on the field, but you could tell there was still tension. They brought in a guy named Greg Finnegan, and he was a great coach. I loved Finney. At the end of my career, I loved him. Right at the beginning of my career, I remember distinctly a day we were out there during the summer, and it was before junior year, and we used to do sled relays. So you would push a sled 50 yards, the next guy pushed sled 50 yards. You got like a team of 6 dudes. You got to do it 5 times or some bullshit, right? And I'm on a team. I picked my team well. I've got like James Gary and Vickers and me and some other fucking hosses, and we're not losing. So we bust out our 5, and we're sitting there encouraging everybody. And he just got there. Like, he had just gotten to the facility. Like, maybe 3 weeks earlier, he had just gotten the job. And he came in with this, like, gruff fucking, you guys are soft. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Oklahoma's beating us up in the trench, yada, yada, yada. And he called us out, and he called me out. And he was like, you didn't do all your reps, and got in my face. And I fucked his ass up. And we had a scrap on the field, and I was whipping his ass out there in front of the whole team, yelling at him, you don't get to come after me. I'm the fucking captain. I'm the leader on this team, dog. I don't cheat. There's no cheating there's no cheating on this guy's docket. That's not the way this works. So I understand that it's different now. Not a lot of players are going to do that with a coach. Maybe just me. But that went a long way in developing our relationship too, because Finnegan knew he couldn't fuck around with a leader on the team. He also knew that there was a leader on the team.
Right, yeah.
Now, who's going to give him pushback? Who's going to go, if coach comes at you, he's doing it on purpose. I do this every day in the gym.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I do it every day in the gym. I'm going to do it all afternoon today. Or you just fucking like, if you saw, I was coaching Deacon the other day, and it was one of the videos, and he was half-assing, and I was like, what, are you just fucking happy to be here? You and your 15 offers? You think you're fucking special? You don't have to do the work? Bend your big ass down and get the fucking work. I'm challenging his ass. I want to see if he's going to give it back. If not, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep on you. I'm going to stay in your ear. I'm going to make sure that you hear me.
Right.
So the coach is looking for men to stand up for themselves. They're not looking for little boys to cower. So, that kid, when he was called out in the meeting room and he's like, me, and he stood up all like timid, I'd be standing
Marion Miller.
That dog, you think I'm asleep? It would be an argument. But I know what I'm doing, so therefore, like that's just my mentality. And I'm sorry that I think like that. And then I also am a strength coach and this is why I guarantee you that's how he thinks too.
Yeah.
As a guy who runs a facility and pushes guys daily and does very similar to what this guy does, although I also coach, you have to be this guy as a strength coach. You have to challenge.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what happened to the old regime, but I know that Coach Prime was not happy about how we got manhandled at the point of attack by big boy teams. In our 4 losses, what was the consistent thing in all 4 losses?
Dominated.
Beat the shit out of us up front. Kansas State beat the shit out of us up front. Kansas beat the absolute dog shit out of us up front. And BYU said, we're going to soak the fuck out of you today, all of our 40-year-olds, and they beat the shit out of us up front.
Yep.
So the teams that we could deal with up front didn't have that. So, we'll see what happens with this cat. But again, good. This is a good hire. And this guy's definitely got a resume. That's for damn sure.
For sure. And like you said, man, there's a fine line, and you put it so eloquently. There's a fine line when you're pushing, when you're really like laying into kids, and you're trying to push them and develop them. You do not want to let them stay comfortable. I mean, that's the one thing about a strength coach. You do want them to be a little psychotic, but they also got to be personable and be able to like talk to the kids and not just like you said, just say fuck you, let's go.
Well, the strength coach, like, let's be real. The strength coach, in my opinion, the strength coach, it should be your portal to if you're struggling. Like if you're struggling with something, you should be able to walk into the strength coach's room and have a talk with him about it before you go to your position coach. So that's the bond that they have to build with this man, because it's not just going to happen. You have to build real trust with that to happen, which is one of the reasons why I don't like this, like, constantly flipping a coach every single year. Coach Prime has been a consistent, right? Coach Hart's been consistent. They've had certain guys in certain spots that haven't moved since they walked in. But they haven't had the same offensive line coach in Boulder since 2017, for God's sakes. So, again, like, it's very important that hire is somebody that's actually going to stay there and develop and, like, isn't going to jump to the next, doesn't have his eye on the next job in the middle of fucking November when we're trying to win a game.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying. I love Phil Lodeholt, but to say that he didn't have his eye on another job is ridiculous, because the minute the season was over, the day after the fucking bowl game, he was peace. He's gone. And he's at Mississippi State with a duck in his mouth, hunting his ass off down there with them country boys. So that's what he wanted, and tip of the cap to him. I'm not going to get mad at the guy for using the platform. Fuck. You should use it. Shit, man. This is going to work. So now go find that guy. We'll see.
Amen to that. And one thing I want to show on Coach Swayze here, the new strength and conditioning coach at Colorado, Alvin Kamara was coached by Coach Swayze, and just talked about his development under Coach Swayze. Take a listen.
So like, he's super like candid, man. He like, hey, yeah, Tubby told me about you, man. He be pausing.
Yeah.
If you keep working out with me, if you just stick with me, you gonna make $100 million. Nobody ain't never told me that. Like, you just asked me, what the fuck did I want to be when I grew up? I was like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Like, if you stay with me, you gonna make $100 million. I said, He like, yeah, if you just keep like working out with me. Mind you, I'm still not like, I don't know who Swayze is.
Yeah.
If you just stick with me, you gonna make 100. I said, all right, but I don't got nothing to lose. What the fuck? I'm like, what?
That's it?
Yeah, what the fuck do I got to lose?
One thing I will say from that is, if anything, Coach Swayze got Alvin Kamara to buy in And I think from a strength coach, that's something that's very important. Matt, go ahead.
I mean, money motivates in this game.
Yeah, sure.
He's smart to use that as a motivation, I guess. Kamara's a hell of a player. I'm of the mindset that like a hell of a player is going to be a hell of a player. You're lucky to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
If you can add anything to that player to help them, then it's a benefit. But it's not. I don't think that a coach made Joe Montana or John Elway. I think that
that's a good point.
and like I don't think a coach makes Shador. I think that you just happen to coach greatness. So. Coach didn't make Travis Hunter. Like how much you can teach Travis Hunter some shit, but he's Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
You can teach Alvin Kamara some shit, but he's Alvin Kamara. So look, man, the importance of a quality coach could not be overstressed, but let's not sit here and act like you can win with just anybody who works hard. Now you can give me the hardest working son of a bitch on earth. If he's too small, we're fucked. If he's too slow, we're fucked. If he's too soft, we're fucked. Like it doesn't. Hard work sets the table. It does not get you fed.
True.
So I will reserve comment after that. But I agree that if you're very talented and you work your balls off and you keep your nose clean and you have good things happen to you and get ran over by golf carts and shit, you'll probably be pretty successful in this game and make a lot of money. There's guys that I know who are the worst fucking athletes I've ever seen in my entire life that were total turds that didn't do shit right and fucking didn't even like football and made $100 million. So, yeah, I think you can absolutely take advantage of the system if you play the fiddle correctly, which is like, with Coach Prime talking about there are certain plays he won't allow Shador and Travis and Shiloh to go. I don't think Shiloh's going to have much of an option. If he gets drafted, I'd be shocked. He'll probably get drafted 5th, 6th, 7th round because his last name is Sanders. And I'm not talking shit on that. I'm saying just watch the tape. And I don't think he's going to run a 4.40. And that's the way this league works. He will get drafted probably late because of who he is. And if he plays a long time and he makes me eat crow, then I'll eat it with barbecue sauce. I'm not talking shit about the kid. He's a hell of a player in college. We'll see how he is as a pro. Shador and Travis are going to be top 5 picks most likely, depending on what happens with trades. If Shador falls to Cleveland, I would never go to the facility. I would sit out and I would ask them to trade me immediately. I would do the same thing with the Jets.
Yeah.
Although it's growing on me a little bit. If
Really?
Shador wants to go to the Jets, that would be – I'm not going to be angry about it. I just am very how do I say? I would be very concerned because they don't do anything right ever, and they can't protect their quarterback, and like everybody's always disgruntled, and it just seems like a very it's a very rich environment for discontent, and that is not what we need around young quarterbacks. I.e. Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson and everybody else they've drafted high. If he goes to the Giants, shit, man, that place is also a dumpster fire. So I like Tennessee, but if they like Cam Ward more, that's who they're going to take.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see what happens with the draft moving forward. But I agree with Coach Prime that there's certain places I would prefer them not to go. That's for damn sure. Travis, I don't think it'll matter. I think Travis, wherever Travis goes, Travis is going to be a superstar, and because he's not a quarterback. So you could be Sauce Gardner's first team All Pro with the Jets, and they're dog shit. So, you can go be a superstar at corner and have it be on a bad team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Travis will have an impact no matter what team picks him. Shador, I think Tennessee would be a great fit, but unfortunately, we'll see. It seems like they're leaning towards Cam Ward, but again, it's early. We got months until the draft, so I wouldn't even lean towards that or say anything.
Why, dog? I like you. I like you, homie?
Dang, man, I don't like you, but you talking knowledge.
I like you, son. What's up, dog? Can't be friends.
People are so interesting. Like that's just wow.
It's all good, dog.
Unbelievable. I love it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial. To those watching, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. When we come back, we got a lot to discuss, including NFL playoffs. We got a big weekend of NFL playoffs. We're going to discuss Ohio State and Notre Dame matching up in the Natty and the game from Friday. Ohio State taking on Texas. We're going to discuss the Cowboys moving on from Mike McCarthy and what that may mean for the future, whether that's Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, or anybody. We're going to discuss that as well, and Colorado and Coach Prime's first statement in Colorado's first team meeting back. We're going to pay the bills. See you in 2 minutes. Peace.
Whether it's offensive linemen as they work combos and double teams and also pass, pro, and punch, I think the unique physicality of this is outstanding. So much so that you can use it for your shield on punt team or as you rush in the shield. There's so many different ways that we're using it. We get better a little bit every single day, and I just wanted to say thank you because I hadn't ever thought of this, and when I saw it, it made total sense, and we're doing a great job with it. So thank you, man. Go Big Red. What this has done for us is it's allowed us to, because of the surface area, because of its firm nature, I can still strike against another player and have to use that punch just like you do on a sled. At the same time, have to time my punch because it could move. I can teach defensive linemen how to handle double teams because they can feel pressure. We can simulate contact in a safe environment in non-contact times because of this unique bag.
Welcome down here to the Lab 60 Football Academy, 60 Strength and Fitness. I am your owner and operator, Matt McChesney. I just wanted to let everybody know that 60 is now on Cameo. You can go on Cameo and request any tips for training, any offensive line, defensive line tips, recruiting tips. I get so many inquiries in my inbox on a daily basis about tips and can you look at my film and can you do this? Can you break down something for me? I'd love to. All right? It's like the Joker said, my man, right here. If you're good at something, never do it for free. So Cameo is now your bridge to 60 Football Academy. Go in, request what you want, tips, suggestions, recruiting, film, and we will make sure that you get the absolute best from the best. So check out 60 on Cameo at 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy.
Man, and we're back here for the second half of the show. If you're watching, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. Matt, before we talk NFL playoffs and Ohio State versus Notre Dame, we got to address this. So the Cowboys today, I don't know if those in the chat saw, but the Cowboys today announced that they are moving on from head coach Mike McCarthy. And now the internet has blown up saying that Deion Sanders will be the next head coach of the Cowboys, and Shador is going to be drafted by the Cowboys. And this is a guarantee, and this is going to happen. Now, my response to this is this. Colorado had their first team meeting today. Coach Prime, in that meeting, had this to say. He talks about how he's not just a dad anymore. He's now has to be a coach. Take a listen.
And a privilege to be standing before you. It's I can't explain how happy and how thoughtful and how thankful I am for this day. I've been praying about this day. I've been anticipating this day. You got to understand, it's an emotional day for me. This is the first day I've been up here without two knuckleheads, and I'm looking back. Charlotte told me I was going to get mad at him for not being in the meeting today, knowing he don't supposed to be in the meeting today. So, but this is the first day I'm coaching without my boys, which is a pleasure and an honor for me. So now I can just be a coach. I don't have to be my dad.
There you have it. Matt, what is your response to, one, the Cowboys moving on from Mike McCarthy? What are your thoughts on that? Does that surprise you or not? And two, the internet instantly moving to Deion Sanders being the next Dallas Cowboys head coach.
Right. So look, I know you have the clip, so you might as well just find it and play it because this happened in fucking April, but almost a year ago now. I am not surprised the Cowboys move on from Mike McCarthy. If there's going to be a place that's going to nab Deion and take Shador first and trade Tennessee, then trade Dak Prescott to Tennessee, and we talked about this in April of last year. I fucking brought this whole scenario to boot, and then everybody started running with it in the national media. This is on 4/19 of last year, if I remember correctly. only because we've done this so many times. But yeah, am I concerned about this one?
Hey.
Yeah, dog. This is the one that actually. This is the one where I could go. Yeah, I could see him doing that. Like, and just watch. If Bailey has the video, just watch.
Take a listen.
I would say that Shador gets drafted by the Cowboys and Dion goes to coach the Cowboys, and he's gone next year. That's just me. I think Dak's gone. They find a way to draft Shador. They fire McCartney. They bring in Coach Prime. Jerry Jones goes nuts. The Cowboys go through the fucking roof culturally and cool wise.
Matt, so the Cowboys have gotten rid of McCarthy, and so
there's step one. Now, if you don't
describe.
Yeah, if you don't think that Coach Prime's on the radar, you're fucking stupid and naive.
And hold on, just for those watching, that clip was on April 19th of last year, just to reference. Yep. Go ahead.
So I don't think that he will leave, but if he does, this is the place he's going. And because it just fuck. If they put into, say that they do bring him in, and he goes to Tennessee and goes, we're going to give you our first rounder in Dak, which immediately makes Tennessee one of like the better teams in that division because the Houston's pretty good, but they would immediately start competing again.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Even though he's kind of shitty, they would start competing.
Tennessee, I argue, and quarterback away.
Exactly. They got a good young coaching staff. They're not going to move on from them. They get a veteran quarterback. They get another first-round pick to build with, and they give up the first and take Shador. And if you can figure out that fucking entire conundrum before the draft, like they have done in so many times in the past, because you got all this time beforehand to make the deal, don't see how it doesn't work. So the key would be, does Dion want to go do that shit? And then if he does, then yeah, man, things significantly change in Boulder. I mean, come on. Yeah. If he doesn't, then this is just another feather in the cap. This is the Cowboys are interviewing him now. So, look, to project the future like this is tricky, though. Like, just to assume that you're going to be able to get Shador when you're the Cowboys is a huge, huge, huge risk. Like, you could go be the coach of the Cowboys and not get Travis or Shador and end up playing him twice a year and have to go play your son. Would that make it? Giants and you're the coach of the Cowboys, and all of a sudden you're game planning against your own kid and watching him get his head ripped off on the field and rooting for it. I don't think that would go very well in Coach Prime's world. So I think that Coach Prime and Shador have run their course as player, coach, son, father. Mm-hmm. You know, even I've been coaching my boy forever, and he's only in high school, and he's already, looking at me like, fuck this guy. So I understand how it feels. That's what happens. It's the way it is. It's great. And I want him to be like that because he's got to grow into his own man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if bad things were going to happen and CU was going to lose out on having Coach Prime as the head coach, this is probably the only place that I would actually take seriously if. I haven't heard any reports that it's going to happen, but again, it's all speculation. Like I was speculating in April of last year. We're speculating again now. I don't want it to happen by any means. Fuck that shit. I want him to stay in Boulder and games next year and keep this party going. But at the same time, to act like, look, next year, if and when they're 10 wins, 11 wins, and they're even better maybe, you think he's not going to get interest from every swinging dick in the country? Then Alabama will be fed up with DeBoer and they'll go after him, or Ryan Day from Michigan again after winning the national title, and they'll find him and they'll go after him. Like maybe Florida State's done with Mike Norvell at that point, and they go after him. Like
USC, Lincoln Riley, who knows?
Everyone. Coach Prime is not going to be the head coach in Boulder forever. True. Enjoy this. Enjoy the era. Just like you got 13 years with the unbelievable Coach Mike and Coach Mack, and you got, you got like 5 or 6 years with Tricky Ricky Neuheisel, and they 4 out of the 6 were pretty good. And then you got the stretch with Coach Barnett. People took it for granted. And we went fucking 20 goddamn years of obscurity and just awful football in Boulder, awful, with the exception of one fucking year in 2016. Okay? So now that they're back, enjoy this. Enjoy the era. Soak it in. Be proud of who, the colors you get to rep, because he's not going to be here forever. Now, I could be wrong on that too. Who's to say he doesn't stay for 15 years and turn it into a fucking megaplex and then pass the keys off to whoever he wants?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who's to say that Shiloh goes and plays for 2 or 3 years in the league and it's not his bag and he goes back and coaches and then Shiloh takes over for Dion 15 years later?
Yeah. Yeah, you never know.
It's a lot of different bullshit ideas that are in the old duder's head. So I wouldn't be sitting here worrying about the Cowboys, but they did just fire McCarthy. So, fuck, man. I mean, it couldn't happen.
Had to ask you that because, yeah. We'll see, man.
This is also ridiculous. To think that they couldn't move up to get Shador is stupid. They've got plenty of ammunition to do so. Plenty.
A lot of teams.
And they've got to re-sign Micah Parsons too. So if you want to go get your quarterback and you want to say, okay, hey, Tennessee, we'll give you Dak and Micah Parsons as a third rounder. We want your first rounder this year and your second rounder this year. All right, you're doing that if you're Tennessee immediately. You're getting a quarterback, a first-round draft pick, and an elite pass rusher. They don't have to pay Dak anymore. They don't have to pay the contract on Parsons anymore. They move to the number 1 pick, and they get an extra second rounder. They pick Shador and move on. Don't tell me it can't be done. You can manipulate the salary cap however you want if you are smart, if you have connections. This is not going to be like Shador's agent on the phone. This is Coach Prime going to be on the phone negotiating where his son's going.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And especially if he's the fucking head coach of the Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you think he's going to be negotiating to get his kid? Come on.
Exactly. So, interesting. Just had to bring that up.
I know everybody's in their feelings in the chat. We're talking about hypotheticals, bro. No one's telling you.
Hypothetical conversation. Take a deep breath.
God, everyone just calm down, bro. Again, if you expect me to validate your fan opinion in the chat, you better understand an expert's one.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. Oh man. Well, we'll see. I don't think Prime's going anywhere, and I'll stay on that for a while. But who knows?
Please don't leave.
Yeah, Coach Prime, please don't go anywhere. Please don't.
We love you here. Don't leave, Doug.
Amen to that. Let's talk some NFL. Let's start. We're gonna go game by game here, but Matt, let's start with the Commanders game. The Commanders ended up taking out the Bucks last night in prime time. Man, what a game this was. It was kind of slow in the beginning, and then started picking up. Jaden Daniels led the Commanders. Baker and the Bucks had the game, and then they fumbled a jet sweep. And just the Commanders had it after that. Matt, what is your thoughts on this game? Go ahead.
This is the only good game of the weekend. I'm hoping tonight is competitive. We'll see. The other games were dog shit, bro. I mean, it was cool to see Baltimore play well, but that Pittsburgh is awful.
They're good games, though. That's the thing. They're all
they're not. They're all blowouts. They're not competitive. So I was pretty upset about that part. I want to see competitive football in the playoffs. Look, Washington's got something with Jaden Daniels. I mean, he is really special. He is good. Yeah. He has no fucking fear. He doesn't think he's a rookie. He's a special player. So, I'd like to think that the Commanders can go to Detroit and give them a great game, and I think they will. I think that game's going to be awesome. I don't see a Dan Quinn team laying down and getting blown out.
Agreed.
And you better watch out for them moving forward. They got a lot of salary cap and good. And like now it's going to be a destination because they got a young quarterback. So Washington could be on the rise as long as he doesn't get RG3'd.
True.
Other than that, though, the other games were very The Broncos came out with a fury and put up 7 points quick, and I thought that they would give them a game, and then got the absolute doors blown off of them. Couldn't stop the run, couldn't protect the passer. Bo Nix couldn't complete a ball. They couldn't catch a ball. Sean Payton's over there yelling at everybody on the sideline. I'm sorry, but dog, it's 6 minutes left in the game, and you have the audacity to go call out your defensive coordinator. If I'm Vance, I'm out. Fuck you, bro. Like I don't make the offensive play calls. I'm not the one out here going run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt.
Yeah, that's the thing. They were very vanilla on offense, man.
Like, I'm trying to fucking deal with Josh Allen, homie. You're over here run, pass, punt. What do you expect to fucking happen?
It's like that. That's how the Seahawks used to be with Marshawn Lynch. So I was used to. I'm like, man, they're really vanilla, and I'm looking for them, and they didn't start changing it up until they're down 21.
You can do run, pass, punt when you have beast mode, and you have
that's a little bit different. They don't have no running back
and shit. Like we don't have that. Quinn Miners made first team All Pro. He's a stud. Garrett Bowles is a serviceable left tackle that I'm glad they re-signed. He's gotten better. He's a good player when he's not in the GB zone, overthinking everything. Take that for what you will. The center can't play. They need to replace him immediately. That should be their first-round draft pick, the best center in the draft, playing for 15 years there, and re-sign him after you fucking develop him like Lloyd Cushenberry and Connor McGovern. The last two centers you drafted, developed, and they went and played for other teams while you fucking put a rookie in there and tried to just, do it over and over again. The center position is kind of important. The last time they were actually any fucking good, remember, when they were back-to-back Super Bowl champions, they had Tommy Nalen. So, when they were Super Bowl 50 champions, they had Matt Paradis. So the center positions is pretty fucking important position. I think that the Broncos have a real chance to go out and do some shit, but at the same time, it's going to be on Sean Payton. Let's see what Sean Payton does. Let's see how he does. Let's see what the kind of the staff that he retains, who he brings back player-wise, who he gets rid of. So he's got his handprints all over. Look, they're back in the playoffs, even though they got boat raced. It's good for them to be back. Pittsburgh was a shit show. I told you it was going to be a shit show. Russ, dude, will you at least – I know you're a super fan, but you can't tell me he's not washed. He's fucking terrible.
He
is terrible, Bailey. Come on.
So here's what I took from Russ. And I told you that they were going to get blown out. I said on the show that I would take a Ravens to the point.
Pittsburgh.
You said
the Cowboys was going to fucking win.
No, Matt. I said, Matt. Remember what I said? I said, Matt, I love Russell Wilson, but if I
said Pittsburgh was going to win, dog.
No, I didn't.
Chat, tell me he didn't say Pittsburgh was going to win.
I promised you on Friday. I said Baltimore -9.5. I promise you. But I bet money on it and won. That's why I'm like, dude, I know. And here's what I'll say: Russell Wilson, consistent, but it seems like he doesn't even look downfield anymore. He just seems like he drops back and just looks for the check down. When that's not there, he panics.
Yeah, he can't. His future is hazy.
I don't. Both their quarterbacks' future. Okay, yeah, both their quarterbacks. I don't know what's going to happen with him and Justin Fields.
Neither one of them are going to be back. And look, Mike Tomlin. I don't know if he deserves to be fired or not. He'd be fired at other places.
That's my next question to you, Matt.
If he was the head coach of another team, he would not be the head coach there anymore.
Really? So that's the thing. After all the winning seasons and all the consistency, he just can't get it done in the playoffs. He's
turned into Marvin Lewis. He's Marvin Lewis with one Super Bowl. Marvin Lewis would have unbelievable fucking in-season runs. They would make the playoffs and lose in the first round every single fucking year. Okay, period. So he's turned into Marvin Lewis in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is so old school, and the Rooneys are so loyal. They've had 3 coaches in the entirety of their fucking franchise, bro.
60 years, yeah.
Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. Those are the 3 head coaches for the Pittsburgh Steelers ever.
They've all won Super Bowls, though.
And they've all won Super Bowls. That's true, but he won the Super Bowl in 2010 or 11 or something.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah.
Or no, it was before they lost the Super Bowl in 2010 to Green Bay.
It was
he won this. He won in 2000 and I want to say 7. I want to say 7, 8, something like that. They beat Arizona. That's his only Super Bowl win, bro. That's fucking 16 years ago. That's forever ago. That was before my kids were born and shit. Like, come on. I remember watching. I lived in New Jersey. I was still fucking rotating between the Jets and the fucking Dolphins and playing the last time we won a Super Bowl. So Pittsburgh is not going to just sit around. The fans don't want him there anymore. They're just so loyal they won't get rid of him. So, I mean, if I was Pittsburgh, I would be trying to move on from Mike Tomlin and get some fresh, ideas in the room. and try and find a quarterback. If I were them, I'd be packaging picks and fucking trading TJ Watt to go get the number 1 pick. Like that, for real. In today's NFL, you've got to go find a young quarterback to put into the rookie salary to build the rest of your team around. And if you've got a wild card team with a rookie quarterback, that's why Denver's arc is so high. It's why the Chargers' arc isn't. They got to pay Herbert. It's why the Patriots' arc is so high with Vrabel. They got a young quarterback. They think they got a guy. It's why Washington's arc is so high. You take an okay team like Pittsburgh and give them a dynamic rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, they'll do the same thing they did when Ben Roethlisberger was on a rookie fucking deal. He went to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, like they got a good team around a couple of players, but sometimes you got to give up your best player in order to move forward with your future.
Keith Tunstall, even the Black Steelers fans want Tomlin fired. I think the entire internet wants Tomlin fired. But
even the Black Steelers fans, again, also,
Chad is
like, I'm not talking about him as a black head coach. He's just a head coach. Like he hasn't won a Super Bowl for years. They've been out in the first round. They've lost 8 straight first round playoff games. That's not
like dominated. They weren't. I mean, most.
And they're not close either. They're getting fucking murdered. They lost 5 in a row at the end of the season with your boy Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and Matt, if you're a general manager, owner of the Steelers, you're moving on from Mike Tomlin. There's no you have no interest in keeping him at all as the head coach. Not
after what I saw the other day. Not after George Pickens quitting and 26 quitting and guys not looking like they played hard and TJ Watt having no fucking stats on the day and everybody hurt and being down, getting your ass beat at halftime, coming out against a rival on the fucking road with no fire and no zip, knowing that Russell Wilson can't play and you don't put in Justin Fields. Like, why didn't they fucking just say Russell was going to start all week and then start Justin Fields and throw a wrench into the closet for Baltimore so they didn't prepare for him all week? Like, why aren't you fucking thinking outside the box as a coach? Here's my question about Mike Tomlin. What do you say you do here? What is Mike Tomlin, anybody tell me, other than being a leader of men, what is Mike Tomlin good at? Is Mike Tomlin an X's and O's fucking master? Is Mike Tomlin a defensive master? Is Mike Tomlin a special teams master? Is Mike Tomlin a fucking offensive coordinator or quarterback guru? Is Mike Tomlin, or is he just a leader of men?
I would say Tomlin's definitely a defensive specialist. There's no way he has any influence on the offense. I would imagine he's like Pete Carroll in that aspect, having very little to no say on the offense.
His defensive coordinator's been there forever. He doesn't fucking have any say. He doesn't call defense or offense. He just stands there. He's a press conference coach, dog. He just fucking stands there. He's there to answer questions at the beginning of the game and the end of the game. That's it. He's not contributing anything. He's a rah-rah guy. That's it. And it's on deaf ears. He's not bringing anything new to the table. It's the same redundant, stupid fucking message. The standard's the standard. All right, well, as a coach, the minute you just tell me that this is all we're going to be doing and this is the only way we're going to do it and we're never going to change, we're going to lose eventually. And now they're in the pocket of losing. They don't have Ben Roethlisberger. They don't have the killer bees. And even when they did, they fucking lost. Remember when they were 11-0 and lost, and then they had the killer bees the year before, and they fucking lost to Jacksonville? Like people are forgetting.
Yes,
people are forgetting how good those teams were, though. They shouldn't have been fucking losing in the first playoff appearance. He's not even making AFC title games with those groups. I mean, bro, the writing's on the wall. He's a press conference coach. He's got to go. If Pittsburgh wants to be taken seriously in that division with Joe fucking Burrow and fucking Lamar Jackson, MVP number 3 coming up, and then the Browns have the 3rd pick overall and could probably get a franchise quarterback there, assuming that guy wants to play for Cleveland.
Right.
I mean, you could be at the bottom of this pile looking up real fast.
Here's my take on it. And
let's be real. The defense is not Pittsburgh worthy. For as many superstars, for having Queen, Highsmith, TJ Watt, first ballot Hall of Famer Cam Hayward, Ryan Fitzpatrick, fucking Fitzpatrick, Porter Jr., for all these fucking dudes on defense, they sure do get their ass kicked routinely.
Oh, yeah. Baltimore definitely punched him in the mouth. And I mean, you saw Minka Fitzpatrick get just tossed. But I mean, it's Derrick Henry. I get it. But, like, this is not – this is a great Pittsburgh defense this year, or better, but it's not what it used to be, and it's not what it has been.
I don't care if he gets tossed. I care about, like, did you see 26 not come up and see?
Yeah, it's the effort thing.
That's what I'm talking. Did you see any of those fucking defensive leaders ridicule him or fight him on the sideline or yell at him? No, everybody just went and sat down. They're like, oh, well,
would have been
I guess we're going to Cancun. No. Fuck it. Come on. It's so bad. There's no intensity. And I saw it not just from Pittsburgh. I thought the Broncos laid down. I thought the Steelers laid down. I thought the fucking Packers, if anybody remembers, I think it was I can't remember the nickname of the game, but it was a Monday night game between the Redskins and the Eagles way back in the day. I know in Philadelphia it's Broad Street. It was the Broad Street Massacre or something like that, where they literally hurt the entire Washington team. Like the fucking quarterback, the tackle, the running back, the receiver, they was knocking people out left and right. And that was like the Green Bay game. They fucking crippled the whole team. They had guys, every 3 minutes a new Packer would walk into the locker room.
I've never seen that. And Eric Weddle pointed that out on JB's show. Have you ever seen so many just like stingers
and shit out of them? Yeah. I'm not saying the Packers quit. I'm saying the Packers were beaten to submission. So the Packers got just beaten to fucking submission. And then, what was the other game? That was it. So we'll see what happens tonight in the transfer bowl where, you're playing in Glendale when you're the Rams because the entire state of California is burning the fuck down. So, bro, I don't know. I think tonight's game is going to be good, but it has the potential to be also shitty.
Yeah,
just because of all the shit that's going on. Can you look? The fire's in Brentwood. Well, that's where Stafford and Kupp and like a couple guys and coaches and like Sean McVay live. So how focused can you be on the football game if your family's got to evacuate and all your shit's burning the fuck down? I'm sorry, but fuck your game. I'm going to go handle my business with my family and make sure I can go home today. I'm not staying at the fucking Hilton in Glendale after the game.
I lean the opposite way. I think the Rams will be definitely motivated. McVay sat his guys out at the end of the season in preparation for a Super Bowl run. I think this is what the Rams have been waiting for.
Yeah, I understand
that. To get in the playoffs to do it. That's
personal. Look, I respect the Rams. I like Stafford. I think they're pretty good. They beat the Vikings earlier this year, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is unprecedented. Like, when's the last time a playoff game got moved like this?
I don't know. I have not. We haven't seen.
I remember the regular season games have been moved for natural disasters and shit. But can anybody remember a playoff game being moved like this? I can't. So I'm not saying they won't be able to handle it. It's just a football game when you come down to it. But the Minnesota guys don't have anything to worry about. Minnesota, they're not the Viking. Like if I'm a Viking fan, I am going to Glendale in fucking droves and just taking over the stadium and getting a home game.
Yeah. I think it'll definitely be like that's the thing. It's gonna be really interesting. I think we've been waiting for points all weekend. I think we're gonna expect a lot of points in this game coming from Sam Darnold, who I expect a bounce back performance after his disappointing performance against the Lions previously. But if I had to bet this game, give me Rams. I think the Rams will get it done and move on to the next round here.
I'll take the Vikings.
Well, we'll see. I'm excited for this game. It's gonna be a hell of a matchup, and we'll be back here tomorrow to react and discuss. But hey, great show on this fine Monday.
Actually, I don't know if we will be back tomorrow or not, folks. I got some shit going on behind the scenes, and sorry Bailey, but no, okay. I don't know. I have no idea when we're going to be back this week. Just keep your eye on social media. I'd imagine we'll be back Wednesday or Thursday, but I can almost guarantee you we won't be on tomorrow. So keep your fingers crossed out there, folks. Manifestation's a real thing, so we'll see.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Let's go super chats before we get out of here. Start with East Coast Kev. Shout out for the $10. we're not going to answer this. I mean, Matt, you can answer if
What?
you want. I don't really care what I said about Joy Taylor, but
Please forgive me, but Jason Whitlock, how can you make those terrible comments about a woman in Joy Taylor's breasts? Worry about your own breasts. Okay. How do I feel about this? Since you're asking, and you did contribute money, this is how I feel. I think Whitlock probably shouldn't have said that. All right, like that's pretty disrespectful and true. It's disrespectful. He shouldn't have said it, but go look at any of her reels or anything. She's just it's all out there, bro.
Thank you.
I don't have my balls like set up in the middle of the broadcast for everybody to just look at the upper echelon and the curve. So I think that substance should be the key for Joy. Just keep working on your craft and don't give misogynistic idiots this cotton fodder. Like, let's be real, it's cannon fodder, bro. Like, and then I've seen a ton of videos where she's advocating being kind of like a whore. So don't tell me that's not happening either. So, and you've seen them, right, Bailey? So I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
And she's the one talking about it. So don't. And then also, let's not be naive to think that women aren't smart. And they don't, a lot of men don't really have this ability to go climb the corporate ladder unless you're like, unless you're fucking Liberace's like assistant or some shit. You climb that ladder pretty quick, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like this is something that if it did happen, which it sure seems like it did to me, that she's by far not the first woman to go down this road. Exactly. And it's as much an embarrassment for the men as it is the women. Like, look, my father used to always tell me, "Don't shit where you eat." Like, you work there. Let's not fuck our co-hosts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're in the media and you're on, or you work at the news station, you probably shouldn't bang your co-host.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? So I just look, man, retrospectively, I could give a shit. I don't care who people are fucking. But there's definitely a fucking issue at Fox Sports. I mean, and also let's not forget that Skip Bayless offered somebody $1.5 million to fuck. I mean, how?
Man, I don't get it.
How desperate are you as a man? I don't give a shit. She could be a 5'10" blonde with big titties and an ass that tastes like vanilla ice cream. And I $1.5 million. Fuck you. I'm knuckle choking.
Hell no.
Thinking about you, and I'm out. I'm gonna go Chicago backhand real quick and close my eyes and visualize 5'10" vanilla ice cream ass, and then I'm out. I'm out, and I'm keeping my 1.5 million. Fuck you. 1.5 million. That better be some some Louis Vuitton pussy, dog.
Yeah, I don't. It's all allegedly, obviously. This is in court.
Yeah.
Yeah, the internet's had their day with this. And now I'm with you.
I think there may be a problem there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know, man. I'm not over. Schmitty works at Fox Sports, not me.
True.
Ask Schmitty. He'll give you no answers.
Facts.
And tell you no lies.
Awesome. Facts. Shout out to Trav for the $10 donation before we get out of here. He says, what are we doing at running back? I have no talk about any big recruiter transfer coming in. We need a beast at running back. Trav, we have beast at running back, first of all.
He's called Stoudemire. Or not Stoudemire.
Michael Welch, Brandon Hood, Gustav.
You already have Augustus, yeah. Augustus. Look, we have the backs.
Yeah.
We don't have the scheme.
And think about it. Let those backs go.
We have the backs. We have the people. We have the skill players. Like, people have been like, "Oh, they're not bringing in a bunch of receivers." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's because they got dudes. Like, we got dudes waiting in the wings after 3 or 4 guys get fucking drafted this year." So I wouldn't be surprised if you see maybe 8 to 10 guys from CU getting drafted this year, which is a lot.
That is a lot. Good,
a whole lot. Ex-Buff Savion Washington just posted up. I actually sent it to you. DM. But Savion, the big tackle from last year, went to Syracuse. He just went into the draft. He actually starts with me tomorrow at 6-0 for draft prep.
Awesome.
So, there's another guy who cut his teeth under Coach Prime. And honestly, we probably shouldn't have let him go.
Yeah.
Like losing Savion Washington to Syracuse was not a good thing because remember what Coach Prime said last year when he said he's a pro? He ain't lying. So I look, dog, I think that there's a lot of potential in Boulder for, like the Joker says, aggressive expansion. And I think that the ability to identify that is very important. So I think they have a lot of talent in the running back room, but yeah, they'll probably add somebody. Coach Prime's all about that competition.
Amen to that. And I'm excited to see the development of the backs they already have as well. Three-headed snake, Welch, Gustav, and Brendan Hood, who we have yet to see him, but I'm excited to see as well. Matt, great show on this fine Monday. As you mentioned, we'll stay tuned. We will post an announcement as when we will be back. I believe Wednesday or Thursday, whenever Matt can. But we appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. We will be back soon. Matt, any closing words before we get out of here?
No, just thanks for listening, everybody, and make sure you go download on Spotify and everything over on the Believe Network. They were our first platform, so we got to give them love. Here's a good one.
I want to leave that. Can I leave that as a cliffhanger? This is gonna be our first topic when we come back because this is a good
one because I really like this conversation because the ability to find a kid. I'm telling you, dog, when I got to the NFL and they started finding me, I was like, I'm never doing this again. Fuck this. He just took 15 G's.
So, first round potential. That's going to be our first topic on the next show, Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. So, stay tuned for that. But
we'll keep you posted. Make sure you stay up on the Twitter machine and whatnot, and we'll get all the, what have yous out there. All right?
Absolutely. Well, so those watching, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. We will be back later this week. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you soon.